And as I shared with you earlier, that now we're going to move on a different level of discussion. And we will be taking examples, some exemplary ones, two from India and one from an international perspective. And we'd like to know what are your perspectives on the same. So the first brand and the first campaign that we have in hand here is the Dettol hand wash challenge, which started on TikTok and took over eventually the rest of social media as well. A lot of influencers involved in it. And one of the most popular ones that were to happen in this COVID. So we start with Professor Jacobs. What do you think about this?
See, I think once again the brand is becoming relevant, to its specific customers. And interestingly, I think they looked at it from the point of view of social media and digital, which of course, as we all have said, is basically all top of mind for everyone. And the kind of consumption of, the social media is very significant, very, very significant. And therefore, they have actually used that, but very seamlessly building the entire, story around the brand in this particular context, and actually using, new media to basically drive it in. That's my take on this. It's making it relevant. It's making it relevant, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So Ronak, what is your take on this particular campaign?
I think this is exactly what Akshay was mentioning a couple of minutes ago, which is edutainment. I think great move by the brand. Again, challenge is a word which I thought would become an overkill after a time, but it sort of keeps surprising itself also, I feel, because it's now going since 3, 4 years, 5 years, and it just keeps reinventing itself. But I think what brilliantly Dettol has done in this is it has been very native to the platform. Like TikTok is a place where people come to have fun, and they are literally having fun with the cause. So works bang on with the TG, works bang on with the platform, and with the perspective that consumers are coming on it for, and merging in it the cause is, I just think, a case study you were discussing. So yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah. Now, Akshay would like to have your take on this particular campaign.
I mean, I think it's an amazing campaign. I think they've got almost 20 or 25 billion views on this video. So I think it's just sort of viral across every platform, because people are sharing these videos from TikTok onto Facebook, onto Instagram, onto WhatsApp, and I think no better way of educating than edutainment, as I was saying earlier. So, and I think also correctly using the right kind of influencers to influence a change is what's very important. I think it's the correct use of influencer marketing also in times of need. And I mean, who would have thought that something like TikTok would actually help communicate something something as boring as washing your hands, but in an interesting manner eventually. So I think great job. Even I think Lifebuoy is doing a similar campaign to bring about the same kind of change in behavior. So I think hats off to both the brands for taking this on and sort of driving it so well.
We're moving on to a brand which has stayed in the hearts of people for more than the last 50 years, a partnership with an agency which is remembered and taken a case for every marketing and advertising student. The story of FCB and Amul coming back to the forefront. They have always been there, but yet again using this era during this period, showing that how they have always been relevant and still being relevant. So we'll start with Isaac, sir, about these 3 examples which are here on screen.
I think Amul has got some fantastic, opportunity to make it more relevant than they have ever been, for instance, to the context and of course with the customers. I think wonderfully well done. The brand has, from 1966, as you said, the day they launched this particular campaign, it's always been relevant to the customer and relevant to the brand. If you really see, and that of course I'm not trying to dissect the communication, which we all know about, but it's again making it more relevant to customers in a very, very I know, very nice, humorous way, for instance, in a context where there is more anxiety and perhaps, angst amongst customers, all of them, everywhere. I think that really puts together a very nice chuckle on everybody's face. I think it's, in the context, I think the communication literally has, done exceedingly well, for instance.
Yeah. So now we
Yes.
move on to Ronak.
Yeah, I think, a classic case study. This has literally, paved way for topical content in the country. This is what we have grown up learning. I think, the couple of words below the Amul, brand name was literally, I think, one of the first hashtags that we have ever seen, online or offline, that which is now very popular. Yeah, I think the brand love that it has generated through all its topical content is great.
So now moving to Akshay for his point of view on this particular set of
Yeah.
posts.
Yeah, I think Amol has been doing moment marketing before moment marketing was even a buzzword. We all have been talking about okay, moment marketing is now the new thing in digital, but they've been doing it for almost 50 years without even knowing that it's called moment marketing. And I think what they've actually done is sort of set the benchmark so high for contextual advertising that we work on a brand called Fevicol, where we've got to keep thinking of new ideas to actually bring about this Fevicol ka jod in innovative manners. And obviously, we keep referencing towards Amol, saying that how is Amol always so relevant in whatever communication they're doing. I think the fun part of working with such kind of brands is that these legacy brands is that even if the brand does not advertise, they will still be top of mind in whatever sort of they do, right? But I think the fun of actually working with a brand like this is that you're allowed to sort of communicate in whatever way possible, and no one's going to judge you for it. So I think Amol is obviously leading the way in this time also and continuing what they do best. And I mean, it's been a case study for all of us growing up. So there's, nothing negative about what they're doing. It's always been a great case study for us. Yeah.
Okay. So great insights from all of you. Now moving on to the last campaign, which I have, and this is a personal favorite, and it's of Burger King France, and wishing a happy quarantine to all its customers. So they have this picture which they put up on social media, which does contain all the ingredients of a Whopper, which can be sourced from a local store or even ordered online, and to help their customers enjoy Whoppers since the outlets are closed. We'll start with Professor Jacob.
This is, I think the only way they could get the burger inside the house was basically use this particular context. I think, again, becoming very relevant to customers. I think I'm sounding like a stuck record, but fact of the matter is, this is how, the brands have really reinvented themselves. And this has now become part of the affiliate marketing activity that they are doing. For instance, you're getting the the Burger King, premise to your home, for instance, the how you make it at home. Wonderful way of engaging customers at the same time, being relevant to customers in a context where customers are forced to be where they are at home, for instance. Wonderful way.
Now, Ronak, I would like to ask your views on this particular campaign.
Yeah, I think again, bringing the brand right to your doorstep, right in your home is again a very challenging concept. Here, of course, I truly believe the brand it took a slightly bold, risky move. Because there is always a taste associated with a food brand, and for you to play around with that concept is always a risky proposition. But I think in the given context, what it does is it really owns the space. Everyone was anyways eating a burger at home, but now every time they're eating a burger, they might just want to make it a Whopper, or they might just think that, hey, this is my Burger King right at home, which I have made. So yeah, I think it has a double-edged sword, but in the given context, it will lean towards the brand and work in their favor for sure, in giving them a lot of brand love and maintaining that consideration and awareness. Even if they cannot come to the brand comes to you. So I think that's amazing.
That's a great perspective. So now moving on to Akshay for his perspective in this particular brand communication.
I mean, I think the perspectives have been covered very well. Just to add that, the DIY or do-it-yourself as the content format is again something which people are looking for. So Burger King is doing exactly that by giving that content out through a static post, and I think they've done it beautifully. So I think, as Ronak said, that it's a double-edged sword because, yeah, like you're asking people to actually make the burger at home because they all are craving it, obviously, but I think it just beautifully sort of drives home the message what people are looking for. They're looking for inspiration, looking for ideas, and if a brand can give that beautifully, why not? I think they've done a good job of it.
Yeah, and looking for something to do at home. So I think bang on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that I think is
The DIY concept
DIY.
actually works.
I think is the ultimate. Yeah, that is the ultimate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we garnered some beautiful insights across all these three cases, as well as the questions that we earlier discussed. That brings us to the end of the first episode of What an Insight, and truly what an insight it was through three experts from the industry having different backgrounds, but together coming together for one thing that we all are still students even today, that is the field of marketing. It was great to have our guests, Professor Isaac Jacob, Ronak Shah, and Akshay Gurnani for this episode. And I would like to thank you for joining and making this venture of mine a start with such a bang.
Well, that brings us to the end of part 1 of the first episode of What an Insight. And indeed, we got some great insights from our experts. But that's not it. We'll shortly be back with part 2, where you'll see our experts decode some brand activity in the recent past. Thank you so much to all the viewers as well as our experts.